Hey, what's going on, guys, and welcome to the Christopher Marc Show. So today I have a privilege of being with a multi-talented, very charismatic, very free-spoken person. Ann, can you tell everybody your full name and what do you do?
Hello, my name is Ann Maria. It's typically what I go by in the beauty world, but the full name, if you wanted to find me on LinkedIn, it's Ann Maria Lombardo-Williamson. And what else did you ask me, sir?
So, well, that was it, the full name. So can you tell everybody a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, what don't I do? Basically, if I just put it into a nutshell, I'm just a creative, just a simple gal that likes to create things. I'm licensed though as a hair makeup artist, hair makeup, skin, fashion, all the things, editorial. And then I also do mixed media. I do art. I just will paint on anything. Give me a brush, I'll paint on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She told me, she was like, listen, Google me, right? So
It's just easier.
I did, right? And I saw this long list. I know she downplays herself right now, but there's a long list. It's very long of things that she's able to do. So let me ask you this. So when did you know that you were creative, that you were talented? Like, when was that moment for you?
That would have been my first mention, but I have to tell you something funny to parlay off what you just said. So when COVID hit, I went back to school, right? Because it's like, okay, what we do is in person. I need to find something to do. So I went back and got a Bachelor of Fine Art degree. And it was funny because the head of the school told my husband, who happens to be a professor, she says, I think she's the only person ever to do all of the allotments. So like you could get a fine art degree in studio art, pre-art therapy, all these different things. And I literally did them all digital because I just wanted to try them all. So that's just kind of how my brain works. But it's just always, this is just me. I was born in Nebraska. There wasn't a lot going on. It was very boring. I was the youngest of 7. Everybody was all grown up in a way. So I had to entertain myself, right? And I entertained myself with whatever I could find. So lead paint in the basement from the 60s. Oh, yeah. Making my mom mad. Oh, yeah.
So that was the moment. So now, do you find that there's an aspect of art that, resonates with you the most?
Well, I think that it is who we are. When I was a kid, I honestly thought, I don't know if you know this, but have you ever heard of Star Search with Ed McMahon? Do you remember that? Okay. So when I was a kid, that was what was big, and the boombox and the movie Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw the movie Fame for the first time, I wanted to be that. I wanted to go to that school, but of course I'm in Nebraska. So singing and music was my first love. And I was good at it, but I was in the middle of nowhere, right? So what are you going to do with that? So to me, music is art and art is music. So whatever it is, if it's makeup, hair, painting, whatever, it flows. It's like music, right? To me, I think it's woven into just who I am, really. Yeah, it's just how I express myself, right?
I think that's the thing. It's like once you find that you love it, and then you realize that you're actually talented at it. Like you see how people respond to it. So how do people respond to your art? Like,
Well, I mean, people love me. I love people. People love me. People don't know how to understand me, though. I think that there's. I need to get better about. I don't know how I clarify myself or whatever. People want to try to figure it out more. But I always say, I keep them guessing. I'm not ever going to be the same thing twice. I'm never going to do the same thing twice. Like my family. Like yesterday, I made this amazing pot roast, and they're like, "Oh my God, just keep it this way." It will never be that way again. Because I can never do the same thing twice. It's just how I am. So you just really don't ever know what you're going to get. People are like, would you pick a lane? And I'm like, no, I won't. I'm just going to roll with whatever it is in that moment. And it's for some people and it's not for others. However, I make people very comfortable when they meet me because it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. I'm not impressed by titles. It doesn't matter. We're all just human beings trying to get by. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing where it's like you want to, build the connection. I understand what you mean when you say, try something new and different. When I used to put on like productions and plays and things like that, people always say to me, they be like, every one that you do is different. And I'm like, yeah, because like I want when you come that you're getting a whole new experience. And
Right.
yeah, you know, you
You
don't
know,
want
one time with my kids, this was years ago, because you don't know what happens, but you have to try things. I remember I took some Jell-O and I threw it on a painting I was working on. My kids thought I was nuts, and I was nuts, but I wanted to see what would happen.
right.
So, like, you know, if you don't try new things and fail a lot, which I have, you're never going to know what'll work. Like, there's all these rules. What was it? They say in art school, they said, you know, learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. And that's true. You know, why can't you paint with oils, acrylics, and watercolor on one painting? Who says so? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Try it. It might
Yeah.
work for you, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you got to try things. And that's how all amazing things happen. Try.
So, what would you say, like, where are you at now in your life? Like, where, you know, on your life journey now, where are you at?
Well, I'm actually in a really interesting place. So I'm done raising kids. So like for the past, I don't know, 20 years, I've been raising kids, and my last one will graduate from high school next year. So now I'm finally able to just do. And I really want to get into a place where I'm not labor, like I'm held down to like I'm not house poor or anything. I can go because I want to have lots of experiences, and I want to get out and I want to meet people, and I want to help just make everybody. I always tell my kids, wherever you go, make sure you leave it better than you found it. Even not just physically, but mentally, spiritually, energetically, you know. And that's just what I want to do. I like meeting people. I like connecting people, and I like just whatever it is, being present in the moment and being of service, whatever that looks like, you know.
So you're at this place now where it's like you're because I can see you on TV, like literally on TV. Like, I mean, like doing like one of those like travel shows where you're like talking to people and trying new foods and things like that. Like, I can see, I can see that. Like, you have the energy for it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone doesn't have it. Like, but it, you know, you got it.
I think it's a matter though, Christopher, of meeting people. Like, I've known these things about me for so long, but it's like it's about meeting the right people and connecting with the right people. And when somebody sees something in you, they propel you to the next thing. Like, I'm excellent at that. And I love connecting people. As a matter of fact, tonight, you want to hear something crazy? So I met a guy on LinkedIn via another person on LinkedIn, right? These are like big time people that like own major companies, but I chat back and forth and comment on their posts and whatnot. But this is what LinkedIn is for, okay? Just out of a chance comment, this one guy said that he had horses in Texas. He said, "Oh, have you ever been to Kentucky? You know, Louisville's known for its bourbon and sources." And he says, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be there all week. I get there tomorrow.
Wow.
So guess who I'm having dinner with tonight? Seriously. He's like, yeah. So, hey, you know, it's just about staying open, yeah.
That's the thing. I think a lot of times people set so many, they set so many rules, you know? And I think, you know, when it comes to people, or this person won't talk to me, or this person won't, it's like, you don't know. Because, you know, yes, there are people out there where they are extremely rude and insulting. And you have the people where they're actually still human beings. They just continue to elevate as human beings.
I think people have just been hurt, and hurt people, you know, and I've been in that place. I know what it's like to hate the world and hate everybody I look at and just not want, and that's when I really have to remove myself from society and like incubate, isolate, you know, and kind of get it back together. And somehow I have a way that I can do that pretty easily.
How did you learn how to do that? Like, how did you transition from, you know, saying, hey, I'm not going to see the world as this dark prism. I'm going to see it where it's so optimistic and, you know.
Well, okay. Now, I had a sister-in-law tell me once that I would get to this point. I never thought I would say this, but I had a really crappy childhood, okay? I grew up in Nebraska, and that wasn't the bad part. It was just that my parents were done having kids, and it was just an abusive, bad world, you know? Not to the outside looking in. To the outside looking in, it looked amazing. But what went on behind closed doors wasn't great. And I just would be like, I think I was an old soul, because I would say to myself, what is the point of this? Why am I here? You know, because we didn't have the internet. We didn't have anything that helped us to see beyond cornfields, You know, you just had to kind of imagine what could be out there, right? And I used to get magazines and I would paste the pictures up, and I kind of think I created an alternate reality for myself. Literally, I would like disassociate. And so there's just something in me that, because I've dealt with things, really crappy things, that I know how to turn it off and switch gears quicker. I think that, yeah, I hate saying this, but if you've gone through things, it helps you, you know, to be able to, I guess, adapt easier, or you can use it as an experience and grow from it. You know, I would rather have not had those experiences. I would have rather have had a great life and just propelled right in. But then I think maybe that would be kind of boring, right? If I didn't have to try or work hard, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I would be bored, because I can't imagine what it would be like to not have to work hard. I wish I wouldn't have to work as hard as I've had to work, but you know.
You know, I think that's the other thing too. It's like that. I mean, it's a common saying, but pressure makes diamonds, and you know, I think it's when you have gone through things, you do it. It forces you to look for the light at the end of the tunnel.
It does.
You know?
It does. I think that I need a manager, though. Seriously, and my husband will tell you this. Like, because I operate at such a high gear, and I'm probably a little ADHD, I need a manager. You know what I mean? If I have like a manager keeping me in line and keeping me on task, I could do amazing things. But yeah, it's hard when you have all those wheels rolling in your head, and like, you know, because you want to do so many things and be so many things to so many people, and you second guess yourself, right? Because you didn't grow up with that affirmation, right? So I'm always wondering, am I on the right path? How am I being perceived? You know, so I feel like I need like a partner in crime with me, letting me know you're going off the rails, Ann, or you're going different, you know, just kind of keeping me straight.
Yeah, you like I said, you have like the I could see you everywhere, like
Well,
living everywhere.
I tell you what, you be my agent and you be my side guy, and we'll do it. We'll conquer the world together. And you can laugh about this moment, because the people don't know what it took to get to where we are in this very moment. How many times, and I'm sitting here in this crappy little corner in my floor in the basement in my studio. I mean, it's kind of comical, because what is this, like our fourth try? I don't know, to get this interview. Yeah. Like I said, if I had an assistant, this would have been done right the first time.
You know what I think? I love. I always tell people, they say, you know, well, they ask me like, why do you talk to people beforehand? And I said, because I want to get to know you, like, because I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like if you jump right into whatever you're trying to reach out to persons for, then it's just that coldness, and you don't really get a chance to like.
You have to build rapport.
Yeah, and you can't create that. Like this connection is like, it's authentic because it took that long, you know. So. Yeah, that's the cool thing about it.
You have to build rapport with people. You have to be genuine. And to be honest with you, I have no expectations. I mean, this is just a cool opportunity to meet you. If it turns into something amazing, awesome for everybody. But like when I go see this guy, my husband, he's like, so what are you guys going to talk about? Are you going to hire this guy to do something for you? And I said, no, I'm just going to go have dinner. I have no idea. I don't even know. I just show up. I show up and whatever. And it'll be like, okay, you know, yeah.
So Is your children similar to you in any way?
Oh yeah. Actually, my husband. So you see how I am, right?
Yes.
The creative, the butterfly.
Yeah.
And my husband is a professor. He's the anchor. So literally, he's lead and I'm light. And so we have 2 girls, and our oldest daughter is math, science, and technology. She's freaking brilliant. She's just like he is, but then she's also like I am. She really could do anything she wanted to do. I mean, she really could. She's highly creative, highly bright. Then my younger daughter, she's a thespian. So she's the actress and the singer and all those things. So yeah, they're both. I mean, you feel sorry for my husband. He has 3 of us. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
One testosterone and 3 of us, because they're old. They're 17 and 18 years old now.
Well, yeah. So you know, everything is broad and wide for them. Yeah. They're ready to roll.
That's right. I've got this Sicilian spark. We're loud. This is a very loud house.
Yeah. You know, and I think that's the thing. It's like when you have this, I guess when you're so charismatic the way you are, it's like it's infectious, because now everyone is like, okay, well, what can't I do? I can do this, I can do that, I can be this, I can be that.
And I'm trying to instill that in them, because my husband, he's practical, right? He's not that guy. he's like, well, and he'll tell me all the reasons why. And I'm like, I don't want to hear any of that. I just want to hear, let's go. Like, rip the rear view mirror off and let's go. There's nothing behind me. It's all ahead of me. And I really do think, actually, as I'm getting older, I'm getting a bit more practical. But there was a time in my life where I feel like I could have already built a house out of duct tape. There's only like nothing I could have done. Yeah. But I'm getting a little older now. And so I realize it will take more than duct tape to build a house. But I probably could do it.
But you know what? I think that's the thing. It's like when you're, man, it's like a meeting people like you is so refreshing.
Oh, that's nice of you to say. Because I tell you what, I don't always feel that way. So that makes me feel good.
Why?
That makes me feel. Well, I'll be honest, because that's the only way I know how to be. I wish that I could be on the outside looking in, because when, like, whatever, if I'm working for someone, working for a business, I get on great with 95% of the people. But there's always these insecure women every time. And it's not just, there's always one. And we're going to call it, people say Karen, I'm going to call it a Nancy.
Right.
There's always a Nancy everywhere I go. And I don't see it coming. And that's the thing, because I'm just in the moment and I'm doing whatever. And they come for you. And not directly. It's very subtle, because I'm not real quick on the uptake. Like, for instance, I don't always see it coming. And I asked one of the ladies I worked for once, I said, what is it? I said, what is it? And she says, well, you're a little too positive. You're a little too fun. This is literally how I come to work. What you see right now is who I am all day, every day, right? And when it's a match of energy, I guess. And when you're not in that space, that's not who you are. And you have to be around me a lot. It's probably annoying people, but I can temper it. I mean, I'm not like an idiot. I can see, I can read a room, I can read a room, but I don't have to go behind my back and I don't have to I guess people they just try to belittle or whatever. And to me, I tell my girls, that doesn't affect me, that affects them. That is a representative of who they are. Yeah. But I do get tired of it. Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
You know what, and as you should. I mean, I used to work at a hospital, and people would love seeing me. Like, literally, everybody would sing my name when I walked in. Mm-hmm. And so it's like people. There's people where they love you, and then there's those people where they're just like, oh, I don't like you, and I don't know why.
You know what I think? I read this thing once. I don't know if it's Buddha or whatever it was. It's like when people compliment you, they're complimenting the good you see in me is actually the good that's in you. It's like a mirror effect. So if you see something in me that you don't like, maybe there's something in you need to look at a little bit. Yeah. I'll give you a really good example. One time when I was first in the beauty business and I worked at this huge salon and spa as an assistant in Omaha, Nebraska. And I remember, we worked our asses off. And I'm telling you, when you were done with your day, your feet hurt to the point where you wanted to throw up. But that was like hard work. And I can remember these wealthy women coming in, and some people came in and I just would get nauseous at the sight of them when they walked in the door. I don't know what it was about them, but I just did not like them. There was just something I did not like. And I look back on it in review now, back on how I felt. And I'm like, I think that's probably how maybe some people feel about me now, there's just something about their energy, because I look back on them, there's nothing about these women other than the fact they're fabulous and rich, and they're all the things that, maybe I was just tired and wanted to get there faster. I don't know. Yeah. But I legitimately did not like these women, and there was no reason for it. There's no reason for me to not like them at all. And so maybe that might be it. I don't know. Yeah. Always trying to figure out the journey, I never let them know I didn't like them, of course.
Yeah, and
I was always polite. Yeah, but my boss, the girl that I worked with, her name was Amy. She was who I was an assistant to. She actually, when I left her, she bought me a book on etiquette, and I'm not kidding you. That was my parting gift. It was a book on etiquette, because she would always say, "Check your tone. It's your tone." So I think I would let people know I'm not feeling you by my tone. That's bad, isn't it?
So okay, so if you could, I mean, you're pretty, and you're an actress at this point. So what? If you had to enact that moment, how was your tone? Okay. Oh, look at you putting the cup down and everything. Okay. All right. I'll see you. Okay, good.
All right. And you're going to tell me what you want. I know. What do you need? Okay. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. Yeah, it's in my face.
Wow,
You
you
know.
can hide that for nothing.
Yeah, people know. I know, and I'm really nice, but I do have a tone. I have a tone. Like, you don't want me to be angry. If I'm
Yeah.
angry, I really have to. You don't want any of this. As I tell my kids, my kids are like very cautious. You do not want her. You do not want any of
I
this.
think
You
that's
know,
the thing about people who are very positive. They they've been at that place already, so they already understand like what works, what doesn't work for them, and you
oh
know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And the older you get, you're really like. I'll tell you something. I feel sorry for anyone that wants to. My 18-year-old that's going to get ready to go to college in the fall. That girl is way better than I've ever been. So when somebody who has gonna have to deal with her, they gotta better come prepared, because she will cut you. I mean, she is so sharp with her words and so astute and so on it and so smart. She knows so much more than I ever knew. You got to hear her talk about the political climate. That girl is bright, and you better know what the hell you're talking about when you come talking to her. I wish I was like that, but that's good. I raised a good kid, right?
yeah.
You know.
So what is the difference between them and you now? Like, do you find that you learn from them? Like, what do you learn from them?
Oh man, let me tell you, when I was their age, I was dumber than shit. I was this bebop and cheerleader. I didn't know. I knew what I wanted, right? But I had no idea how to get there. We didn't have the internet. Like, I literally, if I could have went to I should have left. I should have. I tried. I went to college in Lincoln, Nebraska, and then I left and became a nanny in Greenwich, Connecticut. I was trying to get as far away from Nebraska, and New York City was where I wanted to go. Didn't know how I was going to do it, but I wanted to act or sing or something creative, right? Had no idea how to ever make that happen. So I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go be a nanny, and I was a nanny for these people they're actually not alive anymore. They're not all alive. There's only one person alive in that family. Their kids actually went to school with the Trump kids. They lived across we lived across the street in Greenwich, however you want to say it, from the Trumps. So that's old. This was 1992. Yeah, I was trying to go, and that didn't work out. So of course I came back, and so always trying to escape, but not having a plan. So with them, man, they have it all. I'm like, they don't get it. You have this computer right here. There's nothing you can't learn. There's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't be. Just do it. And I want them to try. I don't want them to like settle down with a boy or a girl or anything. I want you to just do it. Just get out there and go. Just go live your life. Figure it out, And really, the older I get too, the shorter you realize life is. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's, life goes by quick. My niece just went home to visit her dad. And this sounds horrible. This was yesterday. She said this to me. She says, Dad, I come home once a quarter. And I imagine you've probably gotten, I don't know, I might have 5 more visits, 20 more visits. So how do you want those to look? Like 20 more visits so he's not here anymore. I'm like, God, I mean, that's terrible to think about, I'm like, I don't like think about it, but that's real. And it could happen at any time,
Yeah.
So I just want them to do it. Whatever it is, just do it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with people. It's like we take time for granted. We take people for granted, and I think that's the part where it's like some people may say, well, how can you deal with people and then also accept that when things don't end, that it's okay, it's just part of life. And I'll tell people, I said, listen, it's like, if you're present with them in that moment, you have no regrets. That's the thing, that most people, they're not present in the moment.
No, they're not.
They're in the moment, but they're thinking outside of the moment.
Yep.
So they escape that, they avoid that person, and they don't really feel the presence of and the value that they bring. Right. So you miss out on time. I tell my nephew, it's important to slow things down. He's like, one thing I love about you is like you teach me how to stop and smell the roses. And I'm like, do that.
And I'll tell you, being really present with someone, that's actually very difficult for me, believe it or not, because of the way I was raised. It's hard for me, because I know that when I'm out and about, people are drawn to me. Strangers, babies, dogs, whatever it is, I catch it. And so if I'm like, I'm careful about making eye contact with people. It makes me uncomfortable because I will get sucked into a 5-hour situation that I do not, and I'm not kidding you. I don't know if it's because I was a hairdresser and people tell me everything, or when you're doing your makeup. I mean, I should be a psychotherapist, honest to God, because it's like,
you got like you're.
it comes. I mean, but I guard myself because of it, because I just don't have that time all the time, and that gets me in trouble because I think I'm a little bit time blind. I think that like I can lose track of time really, really quick. And I used to tell people when I worked in different places, they would get mad at me. They'd be like, "Dude, just move it along. You gotta get to the next customer or whatever." But I'm like, I'm just giving them what they want. Why not give them?
You know what? You sound like me when I was doing. So I did massage therapy for like 17 years, and it's like when I did that, it was like people would always get mad. You take too. And I would slow down. I'm like, no, I really want to talk to this person, get to know them, allow them to feel comfortable.
Create an experience.
Yeah,
right.
That's
what I do.
About.
Yeah, creating an experience.
And that's
not a transaction.
No, because it's like, and so where I worked at, the spot I worked at, they were like, they was always mad, but then people always come back and.
That's right. And you have a good build. You have a big book, I'm sure, because people want to be with you.
Yeah, and then they were just like. It's like nobody wants anybody else. They just want you. And I'm just like,
that's right.
Exactly. So it's like, if I'm making you guys money, obviously what I'm doing actually works.
Exactly. But you could see too, that's where the people that come for you, right? So it's like similar with me.
Yeah.
They don't like that. They don't like that. But for me, in everything that I do, I like to make it an experience. Who needs a transaction? I'll be honest, if I go get like a facial, I'll spend money on it. Like I spent over $200 in a facial yesterday.
It looks like it.
Well, thank you. But you know what? For me, it's about the experience. And I always I try not to, because I taught beauty school. I got to find somebody that can do it, that makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? When I get in there, because I feel like I'm wanting to correct what they're doing. And that doesn't, I don't like that. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying about having, you don't just get there where we were. Like my customers, they would tell me, that their friends would be like, so what are you getting done? We go see Ann today. She's like, I never know. I just sit down and whatever happens. And that's legit. And that's literally how I live my life. Yeah. Like, I can come kind of prepared with bullet points or whatever, but I'm just in the moment and I'm going to give you whatever it is that needs to be given in that moment.
It's funny you say that. It's like, I used to go and get massages, and then people would ask me, they were like, so how do you know if someone's good, or are they as good as you? I would say, I don't focus on that. I focus on whatever experience they're trying to give me. Mm-hmm. And the person who I feel the most connected with, that's the person I go back to.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, but it's more so like being open. That's a hard thing to do for some people.
I used to tell my students all the time, it's not how good of a haircut you give or whatever, that does matter. But if you're a crappy person that gives a great haircut, but you're a great person that gives a so-so haircut, who do you think they're going to come back to?
It's just there,
because you can build your skills. If I'm going to hire you to come work with me, I can't make you a better person. I can make you a better hairstylist.
Yeah.
I can teach you skills. If you're teachable, I can teach you, but right. I cannot affect or change your character, who you are. So I always go with the character. Always go with the good. Because I tell you, this is what I've said even where I work now. I always say, if you're at this table, you're at this table because you have something to bring to this table. We need to celebrate one another's strengths, what we bring, not be nitpicking at what the weaknesses are. Because, number one, you're just getting on my nerves. And number two, you just bring the energy down, right? We're not focused. Whatever you focus on grows, right? I don't have time for you. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't care if you are 15, 25, or 82. People are people. And they don't outgrow that shit. You think they would, but they really don't. Some of the pettiest people I know were in their 60s and 70s. You wouldn't think so, but they are. So that's kind of too bad. So don't, it's just people.
So what is your vision for the future for you now? What do you want to do?
I tell you what, my visions are always big. Everything I do is big. Everything.
You're like...
You want to hear something? This is funny, okay? I don't know how to do anything small. So let me tell you something. So I have my daughter, right? And she wanted to get a tattoo. right? And so I took her to a concert. And again, I'm about experiences, right? And I think about this all the time. I just should have thought this through a little bit better. That I took her to see Morgan Wallen. And do you know who Morgan Wallen is? He's a country singer. He's the guy that threw a chair off of a balcony in Nashville and almost went to jail.
Oh,
you don't know.
Okay.
It's okay. He actually got in trouble for saying the N-word, and he got kicked off of Saturday Night Live for a little bit.
Right.
Does that ring a bell?
His name.
Look him up. He's very popular right now. Okay. So she just really likes this guy. So I took her to a concert in Indianapolis, and she wanted to get matching tattoos. I'm like, well, I don't know. So anyway, I don't know if you can kind of see it, but most people would have got a little tattoo maybe here. We could say, no, mine takes up my whole arm. Okay. You see, it says one thing at a time.
Okay, that's
and the date. But I think to myself, why the hell did I get that so damn big? Hers is just here up on her bicep. But I'm like, that was the name of the concert. But I thought it's actually a good message, one thing at a time, right? Slow down. So when I say I do everything big, I do everything big. There's nothing small about me. You know, even my wedding ring, like it's huge honking thing, right? And sometimes I think, man, it would be really nice if I just had something small. I don't do small. I can't do small. It's impossible for me to do small. So what's my vision? I just have visions of grandeur. You know, whatever it is, it's got to be big and fabulous. I don't know. I want to live a big and fabulous life. I have kind of incubated now for like at least the past 18 years raising these girls, you know. And so now that they're about to fly the nest, I want to encourage them to go. And I got to go, you know, wherever it is. I got things to do, you know, things to do, people to see. I don't know.
No,
it doesn't matter. And I tell my husband, because my husband's been in the same industry forever. I really don't care what the industry is, and I really believe this. You know, my background is in the beauty industry: hair, skin, nails, fashion, beauty, all that. People packaging is what I like to call it. But because of COVID, I went back to school. And now I sell cabinets. I work for a cabinet manufacturer. Okay, not that I'm loving cabinets, but it is what it is. But what I do is I travel.
You sell a good cabinet, though.
I travel all over, and I talk to people. And it really doesn't matter what I'm talking about. It's about creating an experience, right? I find the beauty industry a lot more interesting, but it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. It really doesn't. At the end of the day, everything's the same. It's just the energy that you bring to the table and who you are, right? So what do I want to do? It doesn't matter. Just something. I want to just get out there and be fabulous and do fabulous things and bring light to the world and help people not feel so scared, because I think when we isolate, like, I feel scared right now, really. I don't know what the future holds or whatever. So I think that we need to band together and not be scared of crazy people. If we don't know what's going to happen, you know, and we don't.
You don't. But you never know. You know,
Yeah.
I think this is the thing about life. It's like when you're an artist, we are the hope for the world.
Yeah, we are. You know, do you ever remember the story of Bauhaus in Germany? You know Bauhaus. If you don't, yeah, you have to look it up. But you know, they were so threatened by the beautiful art. You know, Hitler tried to go to art school, and he did not get accepted into art school, and so he had like a chip on his shoulder about not getting into art school. So he came for the Bauhaus. They destroyed it. They called us, what was the word? They called us the deplorables or the despicables or the whatever. I have to look it up. I forget. But yeah, they killed that art school. Yeah, so you know, you want to kill the beauty, you know. So yeah, we are, you know, people come for us because we bring light and we bring beauty.
Yeah, it's the first thing to go. It's the first thing everywhere, schools, you name it, and it's actually been done worldwide with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But you can't stop it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a necessity, you know. So, what would be, what's your if you had to give us words of inspiration to someone who was creative and like you, or like the old version of you, not you now, what would be that word of inspiration that you would tell them?
Even though you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel and you can't feel it and life just feels hopeless, don't give up, because and I really always believed this, and I don't know how, because again, I didn't have any internet or anybody letting me know there was something else out it. You really can be whatever you want to be. You just got to keep doing it, and it's hard, and it's lonely, and it's scary, and people are mean to you. I mean, I guess you just got to find that place where you can go into. I wish I would have known that I was okay. I wish I would have known that I wasn't fat. I wish I would have known I was cute. I look back, I was a cheerleader, and people used to call me fatly or whatever. And I was like, damn, I wish I was that fat now. Got 120 pounds of fat. I was not fat. And so it's like, you know how we think about these impressions. And I tell my daughters this, and any girl I ever see under the age of 30, I tell them, you know what? You gotta realize that you are in it right now. Enjoy every minute of this part of your life, because literally you're awesome. And I just didn't know I was awesome. I had no idea. And I remember I went to work at the salon when I got out of beauty school, and this lady, I overheard her talking about me. And this lady said, she really has no idea how beautiful she is. And I don't, and it's just, so I think to tell people, just don't be arrogant or whatever, but just realize that you are enough. And that sounds so cliche, but I really mean that, you really are. You are.
That's a beautiful.
And when people come for you, it's really because they're jealous of you. There's something there that when they come for you. But again, I'm 52 years old, dude, and I still have it happening to me, and I still don't like it. So, but that's why I think that we really need to find people we can just be around. You don't have to say anything. You just can just be. You know what I mean? No judgment, no nothing. You don't have to talk. You don't have to make anybody feel one way or the other. You can just be. Wouldn't that sound nice, just to be. No judgment, just be. Imagine that.
I feel like I did an interview, but I don't feel like I did an interview. It's weird. I'm like we were just talking. This is just a whole conversation.
Yeah.
Last question, Ann. How can people find you?
Well, I'm all over LinkedIn. LinkedIn, actually, because of the climate of the world right now. Like, I had my company, it was Ann Maria and Company, and I do have a Facebook page. I've really kind of abandoned Facebook because it's just not, I don't know what the heck's going on. There's certain 3 people that own like all the social media right now, right? There's no more Twitter, that's owned by somebody. And then the guy that owns Facebook owns Instagram, and he owns TikTok, and I think there's agendas, right? Mm-hmm. And that was my main way of keeping up with my beauty world people, right? Was Facebook. But I'm not on there so much anymore. Completely got rid of X or Twitter. I don't even look at that anymore. I look at Instagram a little bit. I'm on LinkedIn. That's where you could really probably find me. And I want you to help me. I want to start a podcast. I want to do this. I've wanted to do this for a long time. I just don't know where to start. Like, I've got all these great ideas of things to do, but I have no idea where to begin.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's make a movie.
Let's make a movie.
Let's make a movie. Why not?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
This was an exciting. Thank you. Thank you for making it.
Absolutely. I hope to do this again. This was fun for me.
Yeah, because you are amazing.
Oh, that's so. And like Shonda Rhimes says, always say yes.
Yeah. Like,
legit. So after I get off this with you, I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna go have dinner with some dude I never met off of LinkedIn. Why wouldn't I? Right? And it just happened because of some playing, hey, have you ever been to Kentucky? And he's like, well, as a matter of fact, why not? Get out there. LinkedIn is meant to bring people together for good. It's not, you know what I mean? I think it started off one way, but I think that I believe everything happens for a reason, right? And there's just all these great connections, and I just stay open. Stay open. Just stay open.
That's how it goes.
Just stay open. And really, at the end of the day, what do we need? You need to be able to have a roof over your head. You need to be able to have healthy food, things like that. But we don't need a bunch of stuff. It would be nice to have a lot of money and not have to ever worry about money again. Yeah. And that's why we network, to try to make things good for ourselves, but make things good for everybody else at the same time. Right? Right? I don't need a bunch of crap. I'm have a bunch. You don't need it, right? When we die, what's going to happen to it anyway? Nothing.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to live here. It's going to be somebody else's. It was somebody else's house before me, and it's going to be somebody else's house after me, right? So we got to have a purpose and a point. So, otherwise, why? What are we doing?
And Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being you.
Oh, well,
really
thanks.
appreciate it.
We found each other.
Yeah, because it's very rare to come across people like you.
Well, thank you.
You know,
That means a lot. It really does. I don't
Yeah.
get to hear that enough.
Yeah, because it's not being open in this world is very like people are always trying to
Put you in a box. They got to categorize you.
put you in a category,
Yeah.
and they're trying to kill that light in you. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you saw the light in the tunnel and became the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, that's sweet. Now, hopefully, I can just get out of the space that I'm in now and become, I think through a podcast would be a great way, because I love to travel. That's one of the great things about my job, whether it's cabinets or not. I'm in Miami, I'm in Chicago, I'm in Cincinnati, I'm in Indianapolis, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's good for me. Yeah, I like to be out.
I hope you guys
So
enjoy.
you might see me in your next big box home goods store. You never know. At a blue, orange, or red box near you.
Oh man. Well, Ann, thank you for joining us on the show.
Sure.
I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
All right, take it easy. Peace.